There's a lot of snow over there?
Actually not. It's wet and dark and miserable at the moment. I wish we would have real winter here, but not yet.
It's not...
How is it over there? How is it over there?
It's been raining, and of course, I'm in California, so everybody wants snow to be here, but we never get any snow. It's cold for Southern California, I suppose, but everybody's, I live in the desert, and we don't see snow very often, so everybody wants snow here.
Yep. Yeah, quite different.
Yeah. I spent a little bit of time over in Scandinavia and Sweden years ago, but it was in the summertime, so we just partied all night until the sun went down at 11. But
yeah,
I don't know if I'd like.
Scandinavia is very, very good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like the winters over there. I hear they're pretty brutal.
They can be, yes. Oh, then they're just dark and wet and miserable. But
yeah,
I like the summers more. Yes.
Of course, it seems with the type of music that you play that a lot of inspiration would come from the winter type months. It seems to go very much hand in hand.
Yeah, so it seems that I think it's more like on a subconscious level that of course it affects all Finnish people that we have this half a year it's really, really dark and really cold, so maybe that's why people start bands and playing heavy metal. They have nothing else to do during winter time or whatever, but of course it affects all the things that we have this long winter here.
Do you do the majority of writing in the winter or in the summertime?
Well, it depends, but I think really during the summer we don't produce much stuff. Like all the things are just enjoying the summer and taking everything out of it while there's some warmth and sunshine. So I think most of our stuff is done during autumn, I would say, autumn or winter.
Right. I figured as much. I figured summertime would be just the time to get out and enjoy as much of the sunlight as you can, and
yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Great for us though here. I mean, it's like every time we listen to your music, it's delving into a completely different world that's very foreign to us on many levels, and so I really. I mean, I do thank God for you guys. I mean, it's definitely a blessing to hear the music, and it helps me through life and living in the middle of the desert and the wastelands out here. So, yeah, it's kind of a nice escape.
Yeah, well, that's very nice. Yeah.
Now, this latest album for Insomnium, Shadows of a Dying Sun, or is it The Dying Sun? A Dying Sun?
Shadows of the Dying Sun.
Okay, yeah. It to me, it seems to follow the same themes of darkness and sorrow and depravity and things like that. Previous efforts, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to be a bit more introspective, maybe more with more personal references this time around.
You mean the lyrics?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. And well, there are two guys doing the lyrics, me and Ville, and I would say that especially this time with Ville's lyrics, they are really personal, and they really reflect things that have, well, how would I put it? They are personal, yes, and I think I work more on a general level. Of course, the topics are big, love and death and stuff like that, but there is a difference between the way that we do lyrics, that especially lately, Ville's stuff has been really personal, but of course it's better that he would comment those himself, but I think you have made the right interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know. It's like I said, I really delve hard into the lyrics as well as the music, and as I get older, it seems like those type of themes are more prominent, death and sorrow and, just that whole melancholy vibe. I mean, doomy type stuff almost. And it becomes more and more prevalent in life than, anything of excitement or joy. I don't know if it's, because I'm headed towards death or, eventually somewhere down the line or not. But do you find it, it's easy?
Exactly right. And when you're young, you don't necessarily need to think that kind of stuff. And you have the illusion that everything lasts forever and you'll be young forever. And once you get past 30, you'll realize that, okay, it's not exactly so. You start thinking about deeper meanings. I think that's a natural way of things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It just gives more writing material the older you get. It just seems to be more negative.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued also throughout the band's tenure. Every album seems to have similar artwork, and I think it's interesting that the name is very humble. Small print, unobtrusive, as opposed to, some metal bands out there that have these giant letterings across a t-shirt with a fancy logo. This is very, very simple and plain and kind of withdrawn, and it kind of reflects the music as well. What is your reasoning for that? I mean, it feels like you're not, you want to push yourself, but you're kind of withdrawn from that too. The logo, it's very simple and plain. You'd think metal, and there's all these big, like Iron Maiden logo or Slayer or something like that. But yours is just real small.
I know exactly what you mean. I think, it's hard to explain, but like many things in metal are like over the top, and the logos they're big and pointy and messy, and especially with death metal and black metal bands, and it's fine, and it works for many bands, but I think we have always wanted to do something different and things in our own way, and we have wanted to find our own sound and own voice, and also our own graphical style and imagery. So I think that's one reason why. Okay, we had this more difficult logo in the beginning, but for our third album it changed to this more plain, simple version, which we have been using ever since. And somehow we try to make a package where all the parts support the whole entity. There's the logo and the artwork and the music and the lyrics, and we think about all these things a lot. And I don't know if I can explain it in any better way, but
well, no, I get what you.
Style that we try to achieve with everything we do.
Mm-hmm. So it's more or less just to be different. It's not I don't know. I find a humbleness with the band. It seems like in the music and what's represented in the art, where internally and externally, you obviously don't view yourselves as like rock stars.
Yeah, you are right, and we are normal, humble guys, and we really respect everything that we've achieved, but I think we're realistic with everything, and we don't think that we're turning into rock stars or something, stuff like that. So I think it also reflects our personalities, which, in a way, we're normal guys.
It seems more like, with a lot of bands, there's one or two members that stand out. They can be more flamboyant, more I mean, there's press that follows them because they're so outrageous in their antics and the things like that. And this band, I don't know, when I look at it, I attribute it more to listening to like an orchestra as a whole, and like not any one individual member stands out. There's no egos. It's just hearing everybody contributing their part, and hearing something that's more orchestra, like an orchestra, where you can't necessarily. I mean, there's solos, but nothing stands out. Nobody's trying to outdo somebody else in the band, and I really appreciate that with this band.
Thank you, and I think that's also you made here right interpretation that we are quite democratic unit. Of course, some guys make more music than the others, but everyone brings something to the table, and when we finalize the songs, the arrangement, we do it together. Everybody gets to say their opinion, and at the moment there are 3 guys in the band making the song and the lyrics, so we are kind of democratic, and also the inner chemistry works in a way that if someone would start to think that, okay, I'm a rock star, I'm a big star, immediately the other guys would drop him down, and I mean only in a good way, that you get a kind of, you stay sober in a way that it doesn't get into your head, even though that we're achieving things and getting higher and playing very good shows and gaining more popularity, but still I think our feet stay in the ground all the time, and that's all a good thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's good, and I think that's what makes the band ultimately. It's really nice to see that. Now, with that being said, I mean, this type of music is, it's. I mean, they say that rock and roll will never die, and that's probably true. But we've seen many different genres of metal, splinter groups of metal come and go. From the 80s, the 70s, the 80s, the new metal scene. What sort of longevity do you see for this type of music that you guys put out? And can you see Insomnium still playing in 20 or 30 more years from now?
It's a very difficult question, but we honestly don't think that kind of thing at all. We just make the kind of music we want to, and the kind of music we love ourselves. And luckily we have 4 guys in the band who share the same vision. We don't have to fight so much about our style, or when we do the new songs, there's usually quite immediately some kind of common idea that if this is good or not. Mm-hmm. So it's usually kind of easy. And I think that's one reason why we got this far. We are really honest in what we do. We don't try to please the fans or our label or the media or anyone. The biggest challenge is always to please the other guys in the band. Like that they are the hardest critics. So we really make the kind of music we all want, and we don't ponder about the future too much, that how popular we will be, or we will play another 5 or 10 or 20 years or whatever. And it's impossible to say, of course. But if I would have to guess, I would say that at least 10 years we'll be playing this kind of music, as long as we get nice tours and we still have good time together. And so why would we stop? Like, you never know what happens in life, but this has stayed very interesting all the time, because we've gone forward and higher with every album. There are still many places where we haven't played, like Australia or South America, things that we would like to achieve. So I'm pretty sure that Insomnium will keep making albums for a long time.
Right on. Well, that's good to know, and I hear what you're saying as far as not looking too far into the future. It seems like you're more focused on what's in the immediate future, what's just in front of you, and that's a good attitude to have. I mean, you get too far ahead of yourself, and that's when things kind of go to crap, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they say the best laid plans, right? And going along with that, I don't know. As a journalist, I'm always looking at where the music's come from and where it is and where it's heading towards, and so I'm wondering. It's difficult because for me as a journalist, because I don't necessarily like most all the music that's out there, and I figure at some point, my fear is I'm going to get too old and I'm not going to like anything new anymore. And I'm not going to be able to report on anything. But, I mean, what do you think about the future of metal? I see so many negative references on the internet, which I know is a terrible place to look. Everybody says, stay away from the internet. About a plastic society and music that's not composed by actual people anymore. Everything's done with machines and automated, and it's just doesn't have that same organic feel. What are your thoughts about that as far as technology and where the music, specifically to metal, is headed?
Well, those are big questions, but I think even though technology has improved and studio equipment has improved, like people can record very good quality stuff in their homes, but still making good songs hasn't become any easier. Like there are always only a handful of bands and a handful of artists who really make really good stuff, original good stuff, and so also for the metal, I think the best ones, the best bands, the most original bands who make really good music, I think they will flourish, they will survive, they will stay popular. Genres come and go. New metal, like metal, whatever, they come and go, and they might come again. But I think there's so much like honesty. There's certain kind of attitude in metal, which reflects the whole like fandom and the community, and the way that the fans are really supporting the bands. I see the future of metal music bright, even though that the record business in general is in a phase of like big change, and no one knows what will happen in the future, and who will buy the CDs anymore? Will people download the album legally or not, or whatever? But I think that metal is one of the strongest genres in the sense that there's this some kind of unity and support and originality and stuff like that, which is maybe missing in the mainstream pop music at the moment, I would say. So I think metal will survive, but of course it's interesting to see what will happen in the next 10, 15 years. Do we get some new genres or what? And hopefully we do, that it doesn't like be too stable, the whole scene. So I don't even remember what was your original question, but I answered it or not.
That's all right, man. Yeah, you did. You ran with it, and some very good answer in there, actually.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And yeah, I think it'll survive too. I think it's got that mentality to continue on in some form or another. Not necessarily one that I might appreciate, but I think it's going to continue on somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's good. Yeah, I really liked the comment that you made about it's not gotten any easier to write good songs, no matter how much technology increases.
Yeah.
So as long as people continue to write good songs, I think that it'll have a future. I agree with that.
Exactly. That's always the main thing.
Yeah. Now you guys are gearing up to tour here in the U.S. Next month with Dark Tranquility. I hope you're excited as I am. I don't remember when the last time you were here. I haven't seen you in quite some time. I think it was. It's been years, and I think you guys played with Catatonia. I think at the Whiskey or something like that at one point.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah, long time ago already.
Yeah, and have you been here since then? I don't think you have you?
We have. 2 years ago with Epica and Hailstorm.
2 years.
And
okay.
It was a very good. 2 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
I think 2012.
Actually, you know what? That's right. You played House of Blues, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. I actually remember that now. That's right. I did see that one. That was a great show. I think we hung out afterwards and had a beer somewhere. Probably had a few beers that way. That's probably why I can't remember it. Very cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to you guys coming out here. What kind of expectations do you have for this tour? I mean, it's a great bill.
It is. We know the guys. We've been touring with them. They are good friends, and we also know the crew guys. So they're awesome guys. So I'm really excited because it feels like you're going on a holiday with your best mate. So I'm sure it will be an awesome tour for us, and it's a very good package. I think we share the same kind of fan base. So I'm sure that if someone would come there just for Dark Tranquility, then most likely they would also like Insomnium, and of course the other way around as well. So I think it's a very, very good package, and the schedule, the routing looks good, and we have some cities there, like in Canada, where we haven't ever been. It's very interesting to see Winnipeg or Calgary or Edmonton. Really, must be really cold there in January, but it will be very interesting as well. So, and also in California, like some of the best memories I have are from Hollywood, Whiskey A Go Go and House of Blues, and all those the days and the atmosphere there. It's something special. Mm-hmm. When you come here from north, dark, cold, and cold, and come to California, it feels so special and so different. So it's very exciting for us to come over there. Looking forward to it a lot.
I think you guys are scheduled to play at the Grove in Anaheim, and that's a fantastic venue. It's like my favorite venue in Southern California.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's big, great big stage. It's really cool. Every seat in the house is great. It's tiered. It's a nice venue, and definitely looking forward to seeing you guys. I've seen Dark Tranquility recently, so you guys are on my list to catch this time. It has been a couple years, and I'm definitely going to be there for you guys. Thank you so much for the chat, man. It's been nice talking with you.
Thank you very much, and I think after the show we try to hang out there at the merchandise stand. So
all right, man. I'll come say hi.
Try to come and say hello. So it was nice to meet you.
Awesome. Sounds good. You have a great rest of your evening. I hope your interviews, the rest of them, go well. And we'll see you in Anaheim.